Fermat was actually a lawyer, and his mathematics was purely for fun. And one of his pastimes was reading Diophantus. And he considered this problem. Any square can be expressed as the sum of two squares. He noted that no cube can be expressed as the sum of two cubes, nor a fourth power as the sum of two fourth powers. Neither can any higher power be so written. I have a truly remarkable proof of this, for which this margin is too small. So this is now known as Fermat's last theorem, which says essentially for no integer n greater than 2 are the positive integers a, b, c, satisfying the equation a to the n plus b to the n equals c to the n. Now, there are a few remarks that should be made. It is generally believed that where he said, I have a truly remarkable proof for this, he was in fact mistaken. And the evidence for that was that this did not turn up until after his death. His son was going through his papers and his books and found his copy of Diophantus with the marginal note. And the mathematicians of that period that included people like Fermat, Pascal, that other guy, Descartes.
Yeah.
They were rather competitive, and when
so
somebody
they hid their work from each other, huh?
Huh?
They hid their work kind of from each other. Some of their
Yeah,
stuff.
but they would brag about their results,
Okay.
and they would usually say, "Hey, I'll prove this. Try your hand at it, smarty." That sort of thing. And this was never, he did not publicize this. So I think most people believe that oh, that's a great response. That in fact he did not have a proof. But he did have a proof for the special case n equal 4. And then Euler later did n equal 3. And for the next few centuries, people would take care of special cases, but nobody was able to actually come up with a convincing proof or disproof of this.
Did people look for counterexamples?
People would look for counterexamples, and rumor has it, and I use the preface "rumor has it," or according to legend, when I don't really know the details and I could be wrong. But if Fermat's last theorem was false, the value of n would be astronomical, which at some point would put the damp on people looking for counterexamples.
But the power would be so big.
Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting.
But here is a copy of a facsimile. This of course was produced after Fermat's death with the text, and then here is his remarks about having a truly astounding proof for which the margin is too small. At some point, late 19th, early 20th century, people pretty much stopped worrying about it. They just, in fact, people, usually mathematicians, who said, well, suppose we do get a proof. What how will this advance mathematics? And I think a consensus was that it really wouldn't make that big a difference. But finally, back to our almost contemporary period, Andrew John Wiles, and I should say Sir Andrew, he was knighted in 2000, a strange, obsessive, compulsive English mathematician worked on this and worked on this. He first encountered the problem when he was 10 years old. And of course, it's such a simple problem to state.
Yeah.
It's, it's not like the Bieberbach conjecture or things that require several years of complex analysis to appreciate. And in 1995, he finally solved the problem completely. And this is almost as if I timed it to end at this point. And what I intended to do, well, I actually intended to give a talk on the history of all mathematics from the 18th century to the present, but I thought, well, I should kind of narrow it down. And I look at the connection between the ancient Babylonian scribe who first did that tablet, Euclid, Pythagoras, Diophantus, Fermat, Wiles, and lots of other people whose names I didn't mention, who formed this eternal conversation about mathematics. And this is one way I do believe mathematics is distinguished from the other sciences. I mean, if you look at what Aristotle had to say about biology or astrophysics, it has only historic value now, interest now. Whereas what they were doing mathematically at that time is still valid, still current, and it's almost as though you can see someone like Wiles and Euclid chatting about this. I'm sure Archimedes would have got a big kick out of this. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to give my conclusion.
Does it work just on your speaker?
I had a very exciting piece.
This out upstairs. Yeah, since you couldn't do it in an hour.
A little song by Tom Lehrer that I think illustrates the difference between, say, chemistry today and
now, here's a song I always get requests for, but I can't understand for the life of me why. It's simply the names of the chemical elements set to a Gilbert and Sullivan tune. I think the only reason I do is to see if I still can. We'll try. There's antimony, arsenic, aluminum, selenium, and hydrogen, and oxygen, and nitrogen, and rhenium, and nickel, neodymium, neptunium, germanium, iron, americium, ruthenium, uranium, europium, zirconium, lutetium, vanadium, and lanthanum, and osmium, and astatine, and radium, and gold, actinium, and indium, and gallium, and iodine, and thorium, and thulium, and thallium. tritium, ytterbium, actinium, rubidium, and boron, gadolinium, niobium, iridium, and strontium, and silicon, and silver, and samarium, and chromium, lithium, beryllium, and barium. I left out one, actually. A new one was discovered since the song was written. It's called Lawrencium. So those of you who are taking notes can write it down in your programs. There's holmium and helium and hafnium and erbium and phosphorus and francium, fluorine and terbium, manganese and mercurium and lindum, magnesium, dysprosium and scandium and cerium and cesium and lead, praseodymium and platinum, plutonium, palladium, promethium, potassium, polonium, tantalum, technetium, titanium, tellurium, and cadmium and calcium and chromium and curium. There's gold, californium, and fermium, berkelium, and also metallium, and titanium, nobelium, and argon, kryptonium, renalcium, and rhodium, and chloride, copper, copper, tungsten, and sodium. These are the only ones of which the news has come to Harvard. And there may be many others, but they haven't been discovered. Thank you. You may be interested to know that there is an older, much earlier version of that song, which is due to Aristotle, and which goes like this. There's earth and air and fire and water.
Thank you very much.
Life was much simpler in those days, yes.